Support Pro Play Games on Patreon.
And we're back, guys.
How's everybody doing?
Joined here by Max once again. He's telling me that he was able to see the last match for Cherubi, and he said it was crazy.
Phenomenal. Noah is a very good pilot, and the round prior, he did play against Tyler Sear with Blue Hybrid, and as I was saying with Lewis, Tyler Sear is one of the best players, arguably, in Digimon, and Blue Hybrid is arguably one of the best decks in Digimon. So he was a very, very impressive win. So
he's got a large mountain to climb.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
For sure, for sure. And I just want to comment on the fact that the top four, what is it?
3 blue and the 1 purple in the same Texas.
Yeah, we're mirroring Texas, although the purple deck isn't Lilith. It is Cherubi.
Interesting. Because those 2 Lilith decks that we saw yesterday were crazy and almost looked unstoppable. Like one of them went undefeated, and the other only losing to Lilith. So it's like
I know. Unfortunately, you didn't get to see the last matchup with Diego. He didn't have the same starts as we were able to see yesterday, and Blue was able to capitalize immensely, as well as the Blue player just played the matchup really, really well. So we're just waiting for our players to shuffle up, decide who's going first as we start up the match. But any ideas on who you think is going to take it?
I don't know. I'm interested to know. I'm interested to know if Noah actually is aware that he's the last purple player, because like top 4, there's enough pressure already, but to almost be like kind of representing purple players everywhere right now, might be a little intimidating.
So Noah representing all the purple players across the world. As
everyone watching, no pressure.
He's the final bastion for purple, as he's playing as the most unstoppable deck, Blue Hybrid.
And Jackson, if I'm not mistaken, Jackson won the PPG event on Friday, correct?
Yeah, actually, he won the pregame. He got first place in Swiss on the pregame, and he's showing that wasn't a fluke.
Oh, not at all. It's a nice little warm-up, telling everybody exactly who he is.
Yeah, I was at the pregame. I was able to see him play, and that guy played amazing.
Oh, yeah,
I looked at Fernando. Me and Fernando were watching his games back-to-back, and we weren't really commentating the event, but we were talking amongst ourselves.
Of course.
And we were like, oh, this guy's actually just good.
He's phenomenal.
His hands are not even crazy, but he's doing the exact perfect play every single time, as we see the early Kari.
And that's what I'm very interested to see between both of these players, because Jackson is a phenomenal player. He knows how to make the plays and like find the optimal routes. And as I've seen, like watching Nobu so much today, is he is a very patient player. And as something that we really elaborated on yesterday was sometimes like the difference between the top 16 players and people that don't necessarily make top 16 is knowing exactly when to attack, when to be aggressive, and like when to gauge that. And all day today, Noah has done a phenomenal job of knowing when to be patient and knowing when to go in for those really big turns.
No, exactly. It's very easy to know when you want to turn sideways, because at the end of the day, turning sideways wins as the game at some point in time. But as we saw yesterday, sometimes it's detrimental to attack, and when to attack is actually the nuances that show the more, top 16 players, right? 100%. You expect them to know exactly when it is time to attack. But we see a very powerful start both ways. We see the Kari in the back with the Boku in the front, and then we also see the Davis early start by the blue player.
Absolutely, and this Hyaku is going to be very interesting since Noah is playing a Cherubimon list, and having access to the Death Claws and the ability to recur them, I'm sure we're going to be seeing tons of that to deal with his opponent's blue obstacles.
Yeah. So here's kind of a weird situation, right? He has the Kari in the back, which is really, really strong versus blue, right? The early Kari. And we see double Davis, which isn't the craziest start, but we do get a Cherubi. Cherubi will hopefully get us out into more hybrids that can accelerate our game plan. But the fact that we have the Boko in the front with a purple card in the back kind of elicits the fact that we just want to do Boko things, right?
Of course, but I don't think you really can in this matchup, though. You kind of need to utilize Kari, especially when they start stacking
exactly.
on top of each other.
I completely agree with you, and here's a huge problem with that analog, boy, as we see and I'm not going to try to pronounce that card, the level 6 option, as well as Deathclaw being trashed.
Yeah, very, very true. I do know Noah does, I believe he runs multiple mats, so he will have the ability to recur them, but still, probably early on, you probably want to keep those.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing any yellow rookies on Noah's end either.
I mean, that often happens with these dual-colored decks. It's very easy to either float on one or not have the other. If you don't see the purple Tamers, then your purple hybrid game plan is stopped. If you don't see the yellow rookies, then you can't really do evolutions in the back. And, I mean, that's the give and take, right? The yellow rookies are very, very powerful. They have insane on-deletion. They have rush. They have control and aggro both together. But the fact that you're choosing that over cycling, that's the give and take.
100%. That's something that's so important in this matchup. Sword and Joe is super important already in blue, absolutely. But the ability that Cherubimon on deletion allows you to play so many Digimon, like it makes it so it's super, super important for Noah to really think out his plays for when he wants to do the big Cherubimon effect swings, because when you swing and bring out all those bodies, like if you don't kill them that turn, you're just going to give them so much advantage next turn.
It's too much advantage. And oftentimes this matchup, blue can't really do anything to the Cherubimon unless you're playing like Magna and you bounce it with like a Koji.
But you need the Magna. Like,
exactly. You need a very specific tech. And I've also seen, funnily enough, a lot of these side decks for blue, they are playing, I believe, one of the Garurumons. So, yeah,
Yes, I actually saw it side deck when it was Tyler versus Noah. He did put the Garurumon in.
Yeah, that card is actually very, very good versus Cherubi.
Important.
But see, this is the issue that I was explaining about earlier. Although Kari is very, very good and you don't want to use it like this, we kind of have to. Like we're backed up. We're in a catch-22 scenario, and Noah identifies it, and it knows that although this is something that he might not want to do, it's something that he has to do.
Absolutely. We are seeing a purple Mimi come down, which is pretty good in this matchup.
You would think, but there are 2 Hammer Sparks in the trash that he used last turn.
Too late.
Yeah, he used them last turn to choke his opponent to 1, so this might not be the turn that, he wanted to play that Mimi.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. As we see the Polar Bear come out, trash a source, and Bokomon makes it free.
Absolutely.
So we're still maintaining turn, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attacks on the board with a Davis in the back. If we have a Beowulf right here, it might just be
This could be insane. Yeah, this could be a quick
But
game.
never forget, the purple options are just so super powerful, specifically in this scenario.
Oh, of course. If he checks a Swartz on first check, that totally just shifts momentum away.
You would think, right? It's three
Absolutely.
deletions.
Yeah.
So very, very powerful. And all Death Claws, obviously I don't believe there's Jack Raids. I think they opt for Blinding Ray in this deck.
Yeah,
and he does have the Beowulf, so he is showing that he has game on board.
Yes, absolutely.
And I believe he just sees it, and Jackson's like, I'm just going to go for it, right? What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. So 2 sparks down. Kari will, I think, take him out of lethal, but still put him in a kind of rough position.
Does it? Yeah, Kari does take him out of lethal unless he has any. And actually, the Mimi.
Within the spark? Yeah, exactly.
No, but Mimi actually counters the spark.
Exactly.
So funnily enough, that Mimi, who I was joking about earlier,
kind of
comes up.
Yeah.
Because the only lethal scenario for Jackson would be to, swing here and then trigger a Hammer Spark. But the Mimi and the Kari both just choke that play entirely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Some of the only cards in the game that have, interactions on your opponent's turn. Very, very powerful cards.
Absolutely. And something that's going to be super important in this matchup. I think he's a little too far gone in this game 1, but Deathclaw is going to be super important in this matchup because Blue's entire thing is being able to stun and bounce back. Unless he has the Magna, he has really nothing big enough that's going to be able to bounce it back. He will have the ability to strip sources and stun the Cherubimon, but even if they do, they just Deathclaw and still get the advantage off of it.
So here's another issue that we have, right? So although Renamon is very, very powerful, and here's the thing that Blue just has in general, when they strip a source, they remove the tamer from these hybrids.
Yeah,
now when you go into your level 5, they basically just Yaku'd you for free, even though he does have even though he has the clam on the board, right?
Yeah.
Let's say the clam wasn't there, he still clammed.
Basically gets it.
Yeah, he already clammed them. So, but we do have the 1, so this will have the retaliation. We see the Salamon, which we need. He does have a Blinding Rain hand with a Mimi. That is 3 memory for 0.
Does he really want a blinding here?
No.
No,
he's not going to do it here. But
I mean,
if he's able to clear the board state, and then there may be a scenario where he can.
Yeah.
And don't forget, Blinding Ray can just happen at 0 security. It doesn't need to trash the security to be activated. So
this is a very rough situation for the Cherubimon player, and the blue being so aggressive and
So yeah, he definitely needs this Boko, but even though Boko's a little loco, this may not be good enough. Yeah. Analog and Re, but we have 4 attacks, looking at 3 security with both of the floodgates, and it needs to be the purple option as we replay the Polar Bear as we're stripping sources, drawing 2, coming out for free, attacking because that is the only thing that stops us from killing him here. We should attack with everything, and we hit a Matt.
Probably Deathclaw back. Maybe Schwartz. Yeah.
Boko is a little low. And we hit it, and it happened at potentially
Why did he only check 2?
Okay, I mean, he can hit for more, right? He has 1.
Oh, okay, there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's
no, he's like, for sure I'm killing these 2, right?
Absolutely. The ones that can still attack.
The ones that can kill me, but even at this point, he still had 2 memory.
And then,
Did he ever trigger the Kari?
He did.
Oh, he did? Yeah, it was just, everything was a little too free on the blue side. The Boko sticking for an extra turn. When you get your turn back and Boko is on the board and you already have established tamers, that card isn't just good. That card is crazy.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited to see how we go into the next match. Noah did get a little unlucky, whiffing on a lot of rookies, having to evolve on the Kari.
Yeah, that always feels bad. Absolutely, because that's the one tamer. Because I feel like almost every deck has that one tamer that you would like to keep, like, and prefer to have, like, just established throughout the game. And that's definitely Kari for Cherubimon. And I don't think definitely felt kind of bad evolving over that.
Yeah, I mean the Koichi with the Remon with the analogs, like that interaction is so super
Absurd.
duper
It's
powerful.
absurd.
Yeah, it's inherently powerful that maybe he's able to outpace his opponent, but again, the fact that purple needs to do purple things, they have to go ahead and swing in order to do things, and they can trigger an option, they can trigger a tamer, they can trigger all these things that they don't want.
It's so good.
Exactly,
It's so
just
good. It's like a loop in its own sense, like not with like memory the way Lil feels, but be able to like recur and just do it. It's absurd.
You weren't here when I was talking with Lewis earlier, but Cherubimon has so many interactions. It's not like Lilith Loop where like you have to do the interactions as you do. It's just Cherubimon himself. When he on deletions, that'll trigger like 6 different things happening.
Yeah.
And it's like I summon 3 Bokos. Bokos will trigger. I summon a Bushi or I summon a Lucy, and it's like effect. And yeah, you're just doing a lot of things quickly.
Hopefully we do get a chance to see like Cherubi actually do Cherubimon things.
Cherubimon is a very good card in this matchup. I also wanted to highlight the fact that he does come out for 4 costs, which is kind of heavy. He comes out past the turn, but in itself, he will probably delete maybe 1, 2, or sometimes even 3 Digimon.
Yeah, so it's very much worth the cost. Because not only like any instant value that you get by putting your opponent back, but like the long-term investment that you are going forward with to like potentially go super wide and present lethal is insane.
Yeah, Cherubimon in and of itself is kind of like a supreme cannon if you think about it, right? Once you've established a couple tamers, he's going to come out and he's going to delete Madoki, he's going to delete Siaku, he's going to delete Astrabi, or you know what other cards, like the cards that we expect to see there.
Yeah, exactly. So
prioritizing Madoki.
That situation. Yeah,
prioritizing specifically Madoki. But yes, that card is very, very, very good. So we'll go ahead and see where we go from here. If I was Noah, would I be going second or would I be going first?
If I'm Noah, I might go second. Just so I had the additional draw, assume my opponent's going to give me at least 3 memory, maybe even 4.
Yeah, I personally think that if he makes Jackson go first, what is Jackson's craziest turn 1 to Noah? I believe it's literally Sora Joe. He goes rookie Sora Joe, enjoy.
Yeah.
And unless he has the multiple tamers, it's going to be very difficult for Noah to climb out of that scenario. So oftentimes even going second, if they create that board state, might be too difficult to overcome.
Absolutely. Turn 1 Sora Joe is a horrifying thing to be staring
Specifically into this deck, right?
Yeah,
you know, because their idea is I summon Boko, I play a rookie, and then hopefully a tamer, right? But if you play that Boko and a tamer, you're putting your opponent to 5, which gives them way too much.
Oh, absolutely. I'm very curious to see if he did put the Wergarumon in here.
The Wergaroo. I guess we'll have to see.
Yes, sir.
This is not a matchup that Blue needs to worry too much about in a sense, right? Like, there's, again, the interaction that Blue just... I know what ops to go second. That Blue just has inherently in its deck that just counter Purple.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And this New Age Blue deck with the Madokis, with the store stripping, it's already in it. The hate's already in the deck.
And that's what's so good about Blue is it almost has, like, built-in, like, contingency plans for, like, almost every deck in the format.
Yeah. Remember, guys, you know, we would usually call that, in most other card games, we call that hate. We have hate in the main deck, and as we see here, we have hate in the main deck.
Absolutely. He's ready. He's fully taking advantage
but
of
not
that.
this time. This time we don't whiff on a rookie. We have a pretty crazy start. But again, see, this is the turn opener that we usually see from Cherubi, the more optimal turn 1, and it's Sword Joe was just here instead of Madoki. Yikes.
Yeah.
But Madoki is still crazy good because Madoki just eats up that memory gain from Boko. Boko,
absolutely.
Staring down a memory blocker, not bueno.
But at least Boko still gives him the advantage of being able to do the search. The Madoki,
no,
I'm sure he can deal with eventually.
I would love to look at the top 5 cards in my deck.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Ooh, first tech card. So he's already in a significantly better position than he was.
So this is the best possible scenario for Noah. He doesn't have an established tamer on the blue side. He has the Madoki being choked now by the Kari, and we see Astrabi being played. So here's the scenario. If somehow we just Cherubi him here, which we might be able. Not with the Siaku. Well, actually, yes, we can. Oh no, Boko's being stopped by the. He has it up.
He has a great way to stop coming out.
Yeah, I mean, Deathclaw. Is there a way with Deathclaw? Nah, there really isn't. So we're gonna just lose 2 memory here.
0 draw, and then he can't even reduce the cost.
No, he can't reduce the cost. Again, evolving on top of Akari feels bad, man, but it is what it is.
That's it, bro. Swing. I don't know.
as we, go over here, we
And then
do
we do
play.
the
All right.
So getting Bushy and Trash feels great off
Yeah,
of that.
Bushy and Trash, very good, because we do expect to see it later on. And that is a board state where Cherubi could have really excelled in. Unfortunately, he didn't have, Tamers to make it, strong. But it just shows that there are so many rookies that Blue plays that he just has all the targets that he needs.
Absolutely, and still maintaining the choke, because his opponent, it's so rare and weird to see Blue have, no tamers. Yeah,
right?
It's so weird.
Yeah, definitely. But it's a scenario that does happen. With the scenarios that we have to hope for for the Cherubi player. The Cherubi player needs to see scenarios like this in order to have the game advantage and potential to win. As we did strip the swords here, so we have effectively maintained the clam on the board. We don't whiff on the second Bushy. This is good. We're doing game plans. And without Madoki on the board, we could potentially Blinding Ray if we need to extend our turn.
Absolutely.
So let's see what Noah decides to do from here. As he, this is a very safe turn to Matt.
Yeah.
I would grab back the Deathclaw.
I feel like that's just
Yeah, because the Kari's coming back off Cherubi, right, at some point in time.
Yeah.
So you want to have the card that is going to remove these clams off the board, right?
Of course. And in turn, in the right situation, trigger all your own effects.
Exactly. So this Bushy next turn could go ahead, swing. He can Deathclaw the Bushy, kill the clam, Blinding Ray, and just go crazy.
Absolutely phenomenal.
So
and we do know that the Jackson does have the Davis in his hand still off of the Strawberry.
Oh, it also seems like it was his only target, but that's a meme. Even if it wasn't his only target, I think I would also grab it.
That's still a pretty good target.
Yeah, I mean, that would still probably be
the
the target, by the way. But yes. So, and the clam is just swinging. Very interesting. As it dies the security into the Kaiser.
It's probably the fact that he knows.
And Strawby needs to go. And, Strawby, wow, checking that card there was...
That was kind of good.
Pretty unfortunate, but this does turn on the Upamon for the Noah side. So, that Bushy is going to turn sideways probably, and it'll now net him one more card, which may matter in the long scheme of things.
If I'm Jackson, though, I'm actually feeling kind of good about that Schwartz, because I'm sure he was expecting the Strawberry to die anyway, because it's, 1K?
Yes, sir.
So, I'd rather lose a 1K Digimon, a single one, as opposed to, late game, when he can, do some pretty explosive stuff.
This is very interesting. So,
he is pushing fast.
So again, here's what we were talking about earlier. Blue players' damage is very easily to calculate. In this scenario, how much damage can his opponent do? He can do one check max, because he can't have two separate Digimon checks. Even if he goes a Zulong onto this board, right? That Zulong can check for 15. That is not going to win the game. He still has 1 HP to deal with. So we're going to deal with this Korikaku very easily here with the expected play of going onto the card. He could have gone on top of the mat, and then as this card, he could kill this, Deathclaw it, and then bring back the mat. He chose not to, but that's fine. That's cool. What are we going to go from here? I mean, we still have 4 Digimons now. Does he attack security? Because if he attacks security and he hits a tamer, doesn't he just die to Hammer Spark? It's literally death to Hammer Spark. So I don't think he can afford to swing with this Bushi Agumon, actually.
Oh, we see the reinforce.
That's very good.
Oh, that's great.
And he adds Cherubi, puts the mat to the top.
Very well timed.
So reinforced memory boost. That card's at 1. But how often do you see that card?
Not very much. I don't think anymore, because it was a big Secon card. But yeah, I'd assume he has the ability to filter so much in this deck that I'm sure he sees it as much as he would like.
Don't get me wrong, I think the card is absolutely strong. There's a reason that card went to 1. That card was wreaking havoc last format, but I barely see it nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. As we see a Strawbymon in the back.
That was such a good play.
No, that was excellent.
That was a phenomenal play.
So
in that situation, if you had Reinforce in hand, would you have swung with the Bushy? Knowing that you had the ability to recover 1? Because even if you check a Tamer now, you're out of lethal.
I'm sorry that I stopped talking for a little bit, but yeah, I was just thinking, do I take that swing? I think
because it's I think you still give him an advantage if you check
exactly.
a Sword Joe.
If I hit Sword Joe, then it's just so much worse. I think this is the safest potential play. And Noah is not in a position to play, in an unsafe manner. If he makes one small mistake, the game might just end.
And I think that's what I was saying earlier. Because in my situation, I'm a very greedy, aggressive player. I'm swinging there, but I think he's very calm, collected, and patient. He's I don't need to push this right now, so I'll just do what I can get away with and still be safe and not get punished.
Definitely.
Because you can't check a Sword Joe if it doesn't swing.
Exactly. You can't give your opponent the advantage that he's looking for if you just don't play into it. So that's again something that we noticed in the last match. Players knowing when and when not to attack. What less would you expect from these top players?
Absolutely. They're top 4 for a reason.
Exactly. As we see Tommy and the Howling. So we have double freeze yet again.
So now Bushy, good call.
Definitely. So we've stalled 2 more turns here. We're going to 3 memory. We do have reinforced memory move, potentially going to 6.
And the third
And is
bushy, wow.
Can we somehow finagle a lethal here?
Can't attack with that.
I don't think our trash has good enough Digimon in order to be popped from the pinata, right?
Because I think it's just the one bushy that's in there.
Yeah, so
No Bokos, no Salas.
No, I mean the Boko could die to security
Swing, yeah.
potentially, but that's not
Again,
guaranteed.
You took a Sword Joe, then you just feel real bad.
Yeah, so again, his opponent's presenting lethal once again. He has the boost on the board with 2 tamers. Starting at 3, he goes up to 5. He has Cherubi +2, right? And it cannot be interacted with in any card in the purple's deck.
No.
Right, except maybe a Jax Raid, but I highly doubt that card's in the deck. That cannot be in the deck, especially with Blinding Ray.
Absolutely.
So we're in a really sticky scenario once again for Noah. And how do we get out of it?
Yeah.
And that's something that I do like about the Cherubi, and it's like a deckless choice. Cherubi, he has all these really powerful cards in hand.
Yeah.
Like if he had Lucemon in hand, he could, if he was playing a purple base, kill his purple card, filter some cards, dump a Lucemon, go into the Cherubi, kill the Cherubi. But that's just the issue. We don't have the cards in trash necessary to facilitate a game state like this.
And like you almost want you want to push so bad, but like
you just can't.
You can't.
Had that check not hit, you know,
5 securities.
Had that check hit like a Cherubi, right? That would have been
Yeah.
really nice, right? It would have been really, really powerful. And he has to deal with forge security. That's much more manageable. But if had that hit anything else, you kind of just lose.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and memory boost. Kari is very, very strong. If we can see a double Kari, the BB
I thought that's what it was. I was like, wow.
The BB doesn't really do much in this scenario. So we couldn't attack last turn, but are we forced to attack this turn? And I guess Noah says, no, we're not. We're not forced to attack just yet as we play the Kari back.
There it is.
Okay, so that's good. That is a way to get to the second Kari, right? Which stops
sadly,
full lethal, right?
Just offset it, can it? Because there's only because Mimi won't trigger because it's just the card popping, not being activated.
Exactly. So even though he goes to 5, he'll summon a hybrid, go down to 3, and then with that hybrid swings, he'll be pushed to 1. Now, Hammer Spark is Hammer Spark, right?
Was this the game where he started with 2, or was that last game?
That was last game. Although this game, he has played 1 Hammer Spark earlier. I mean, Jackson's played his Hammer Sparks in a crazy fashion, by the way. And by crazy, I don't mean like he's playing them like willy-nilly. He's playing them at the exact necessary times.
Yeah.
So at this turn is one of the, if he can't freeze the board, I believe he needs to go for lethal. Because if not, that Cherubi's going to do some crazy things next turn that Jackson might just not be ready to handle.
And Nobu definitely needs a Darkness Claw. Because if I'm playing this, I feel like you should always assume that your opponent has like the best possible line of play. So I'm assuming that Cherubi's probably getting stunned. So like Darkness Claw should. He has it. He has Death Claw in hand.
Oh,
and he has Swords as well.
He actually needs double Hammer Spark, right?
Yeah.
2 Kari plus the BB. BB's choking it.
That's right.
Yeah, so that BB play that we were trolling about actually was really good.
Yeah, actually phenomenal.
See, again, Noah, he's one step ahead. He's
beyond. Top 4 for a reason.
Yeah, he is beyond commentator vision.
Absolutely.
So very, very good.
It's so interesting because I think we talked about this yesterday where it's almost like when you're in the game, there's some things that you miss because you're so tunnel vision. But he's so locked in that he's picking up things that we're like,
I'm very good at picking up mistakes. But no, it doesn't seem like Noah has made a single mistake at this point in time. As we see the Tommy being promoted. So I mean, this card, again, he needs to freeze the board.
Yep.
He has to freeze the board. So we're going to strip the swords. It doesn't really matter. We don't have an analog in the play, and Cherubimon doesn't really care about the being frozen or strip source or anything like that.
Yeah, no analog. I didn't even realize until you said we haven't seen analog at all.
And by the way, we know Death Claw's in his hand.
Oh, of course.
Just by the way, no, because of the mat earlier, right? We got it off the mat, which was the only possible target, but also the best target.
The best target.
Yeah.
That might actually come up huge in this game.
Maybe Jackson forgot about that, but that card is in Noah's hand. So he does have to do some checks here. If he doesn't have Bayo Wolfmon, he kind of needs Bayo Wolfmon. But yeah, he's going to have to pop this boost. He's going to have to attack to trigger Tommy's effect to freeze. We're going to need to see Bayo. We're going to need to see a lot of cards, man. But blue can do it. Blue is blue.
Blue is blue indeed.
Blue is still blue. So we're taking a quick think. This is a very pivotal turn. If one mistake happens, it can go either way.
These are very important turns that we're going to be seeing.
So Polar Bear is going to stop the Bushy from attacking as it hits the mat that we already put there from the reinforce. We knew that card was there.
Oh, that's right. Duh. Yeah, duh.
Yeah, but we knew it was there, but still very, very hype. Because it triggers a Tamer onto play. And a Tamer with Cherubi, it's pretty darn good, but we're still missing rookies.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just looked like he drew another Death Claw off his draw for turn.
And then he cycled into what? He just passed?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Oh, I think he memory boosted it. Did he not?
No,
trigger the first one?
he
No,
did.
yeah, I guess
he just passed. As we're gonna go Bushy. Bushy is gonna trigger there. That is terrible. That is one of the things we do not want to see.
Absolutely not.
That is what could change the game entirely. He has some sparks. Yeah, I see one. He has 2 in trash now. I know he has at least
He has
one in hand.
Yeah.
But let us not forget, Noah does
Noah-
have Blinding Ray in hand as well. Noah's hand is stacked. Because he can right now go Blinding Ray, gain 2, tap both Karis, gain 2 more, gain
Absurd.
4,
It's absurd
activate
combination.
the Death Claw, trigger the Mimi, gain, play it for free basically. So we can go all the way up to 5 memory right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is definitely going to be, if he does choose the blinding, this is like a go for broke kind of turn. Death Claw pops Cherubi, of course.
Oh, true. The purple Kari made him pass
Yeah.
XD. But yes, so we'll go ahead and try to clean up the board a little bit. Again,
Opting
Noah
not to do Cherubi.
Jackson doesn't have lethal again.
Yeah.
We're in another board state that Jackson does not have lethal.
He's getting in such a good position now. Like, as long as he can like continue to slowly control the board, and while he's like growing his own, he should be in a good position.
Yeah, no, this is looking very powerful from Noah's side. It's looking like he's going to be able to swing this game back around unless some craziness happens in security. Once again, if he checks another tamer,
Yeah, then it flips it on his head.
are we just dead? I don't think so.
All right, Boko checks.
Man, that Boko was
Bam.
loco. Holy moly.
That Boko's going to be phenomenal coming off Cherubi.
This is kind of crazy. Oh, and we're just going. I mean, I guess we're going for lethal. Yes, I guess.
Yeah.
See? Yeah, we're going for lethal. Respect. He does have a Bushy Engrave. He might just have a Tamer in hand as he's going to Death Claw this Cherubi. Cherubi's going to play the Boko. The Boko's going to grab potentially a Lobo from the deck. He has the Bushy that he's going to be able to play. And he's going to trigger the Mimi to make it free. He can also Blinding Ray. Yeah, this game's actually a wrap. It's actually this is a wrap.
Oh, yeah, this is
There
Cherubi
was
doing Cherubi
double
thing.
Bushy.
Yeah,
I mean,
Cherubi
my
doing
dude
Cherubi
play the
things.
Blinding Ray. Okay, he's just cracked, I guess.
He's just different.
Yeah, fair enough. Respect.
Phenomenal. All right, so we have seen great games from Jackson. Obviously had a phenomenal game 1, and Noah had a phenomenal comeback game 2.
I mean,
it's going to be a good game 3.
Okay.
Nothing less than crazy for
I'm
top 4.
I was so afraid of the Hammer Spark, dude.
Yes.
This guy's crazy. But he played that game very, very well. He knew exactly that the mat was there. He knew he would have the resources to continue the game state. He didn't early play any cards. He knew the Karis were there. He played the Cherubi to get the Kari, to play the Mimi, to do the things, to stop lethal.
That meme was so absurd.
That was crazy.
Mimi and Kari in the same deck is so crazy.
No, I mean, Mimi in general is a card that blue players are teching to be blue.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
So obviously the card is good against the blue matchup, and Kari, it is of itself is a card that comes up in the purple-yellow hybrid deck that beats blue.
Yeah. Exactly.
So with access to both of them, do we not just win?
I mean, he's been winning out pretty well today.
I mean, I'm not wrong, am I?
No, not at all.
He is in
He's
semis
top
for a
four,
reason.
so I mean, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. As we
Definitely
got a little
good
shuffle up, and he chose to go second that game.
Yes, he did.
So again,
Definitely did.
he could have
And it
been
was a
punished
very
by the
good
Sora
call.
and
Yeah,
Joe.
but it was a good
He
call.
could have been punished, but in this time, it worked out. We don't. I guess I do have access to the list, but I'm not really certain, and I don't really want to check how many Sora and Joes are in Jackson's list because I know this game is going to go straight. That was game 2. We're going into a game 3 right now, and I'm not sure if he's playing 4 Sora and Joes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you'd almost. I don't know who side decks additional Sora Joes, but like.
No, I think you have all the Sora and Joes you need in the main deck. I don't think you
deck.
choose to take in or take out more. Once again, versus purple cards, what's really good versus purple cards? Hexablow. I do expect to see Hexablow in this deck.
Yeah.
What is really good versus Cherubi? Hexablow. That card destroys that deck.
100%.
Nice Bushies, bro.
Even if they get the Cherubi off, it's just like.
Nice
sitting there
Bushies,
like,
bro.
cool,
Nice.
cool.
Oh, you pop the pinata. Wow, you summon Boko and Bushies. Cool. I have Hexablow.
Yeah.
So, funnily enough,
I
I don't know if Jackson sides it. Azulong is also kind of crazy.
Absolutely. If you get in the right scenario.
Azulong is kind of crazy, but Hexablow is just. I have no idea how he outs that card.
No
Do they play Fly Bullet? Sometimes they do.
Sometimes they would, but do you want to? Oh, you mean
Fly Bullet the
Noah?
Hexablow? Yeah.
Sure,
You know
sure.
what I'm saying?
You have to.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, is Noah siding the Fly Bullet to play around the Hexablow that he doesn't know exists?
I'm sure he. I'd have to
mind.
imagine he has one sided because I'm sure he's play tested against it enough where he's like, this is a really big problem.
Bro, Noah has opened the
Noah,
Kari every game. Well, I mean, last game he didn't open it. His opponent gave it to him, but that card is just so good. There it is. This is
There
the
it is.
play that I
That's
was
nice.
talking about. That is but he does have the response with the double Tamer start. So that is the out.
Yeah.
And if unless he didn't have a tamer to play here, that Sora and Joe would be farming memory.
Yeah, absolutely. Double Kari feels so good.
Yeah, double Kari and double Sora
There's
Joe.
the Sala. There you go.
So
Yeah, this
Noah,
is
and basically the second Sora Joe says, now are you passing or do you have another tamer? Yeah. But promoting here is also scary because now if this Yaku swings and he triggers the Joe, that doesn't come out for one, the clam.
Yikes.
Yeah. Did he stumble on top of the clam? Okay, fair enough, fair enough. We do get the Madoki in the back. Now this clam has to go sideways. Sora and Joe removing that source and forcing him to kind of Cherubi in a really early game state. This is looking like the scenario I was talking about. The scenario where blue is like, yeah, nice purple deck.
Exactly.
So
the Sora Joe start is it's so absurdly strong.
Well, Noah did have the double Kari start,
Of course.
but
Is that Rattlestar?
yeah. Okay, I mean
Interesting.
that is one way to remove a card off the board. At the end of the day, he did remove a Kari for a Rattle. Rattlestar being extremely powerful, specifically against Cherubimon. I don't think he should have played it there, but
Yeah, that was an interesting.
but hype. We keep tempo. We do have Sora.
Yeah, I think that's why he just wanted to,
we have
keep
the
up.
tempo. We have both floodgates. We have Sora and Joe is effectively more floodgates, which again passes the turn to Noah and says, Noah, now do you have another tamer,
Yeah.
or are you giving me a billion memory?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And he drew the Boko on one of the turns fire, and I know, like, he just knows he can't do it. If I'm Jackson, I don't think I'm ever revolving over Sora Joe, ever. Like it
No,
just
no,
because it like de-incentivizes him to play, like, Noah to play the deck. Like, I can't Boko, I can't.
Yeah,
like,
no, most of
enable
again because of you're playing okay, so he does have tamer, which is the out that he needs. We discard the Boko.
discarded the
Boko
Boko.
is so unbelievably
Yeah.
powerful, searching the top 5 cards, basically getting you to your game plan, but you cannot afford
No,
to
it's
give your
not-
opponent
yeah.
4 memory.
No
You
way.
just cannot.
No way. And even in a hard, there's no way.
Yep, and just pass. Okay.
Jackson's starting to build a
Okay.
wall back there.
So even though, no, he Tommied. Sorry, he just moved those cards a little
Yeah.
too fast for me to see. As we promote the Salamon here, and I guess are we reinforce? That's kind of
Schwartz. Nice.
Schwartz. I mean, now with the Schwartz being added to the top, that basically says the clam is going to go sideways,
Of course.
and it's going to remove the Schwartz. He's going to take one for the team,
Yeah, I would
as
absolutely.
he needs to, right? And then he's going to go ahead and
Stunning the Sally here could be big.
it's not even stunning the Salad because you kind of want to play the Madoki to remove the reinforce, but you can't really play the Madoki because of the Schwartz. So, yep, this is the play. We freeze the Sala. Yeah, it does get a draw. Like at the end of the day, we're playing 6 memory for a draw. We're getting refunded 3 memory for a draw.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. But we did lose a Schwartz.
Yeah,
Right? There are
exactly.
4 of that card in the deck. That card is not an infinite card that we can deal with, and removing it from security basically for free from Jackson is
Yeah,
very, very
exactly.
powerful.
Having the knowledge that it's in there, especially in the board state that he had, like, he had to take advantage of it.
And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and take the Tommy freeze, and there was just
Then
another Schwartz.
one.
I mean,
Two
we take
down, though.
those.
Yeah,
We
if you're
take
Jackson,
those.
you're feeling phenomenal
we
after
take
those.
those, bro. We take those. So we're gonna go ahead and we're free. I mean, we're gonna double down on the freeze. It doesn't really matter because our Soren Joe is gonna effectively, unless he death claws this Salamon,
He has such a high ceiling next to him.
right?
Oh, my goodness. It's a lot of memory. That's a lot of memory potential.
Yeah, it's a lot. What would be the best possible option? I can't even imagine. Like calling from a darkness doesn't really get him anything at this point in time.
He can just ask Jackson to evolve over Sword
So
Joe.
he's gonna. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pop the boost, get 3 more memory. Go ahead and play
Discard the other
Koichi.
Boko.
Discard the Bokos. Again, it's not playable in this game state, unfortunately. And do we just evolve on top of the Koichi, take a swing here, Death Claw, or hope that our guy dies, and then Death Claw or calling from a darkness the Sala in order to do things?
Yeah.
Is that the out that we need?
You would really hope the purple dies. So he's going to Death Claw.
Yeah, but no, he doesn't recover because he's at 4.
Yeah.
Because he gained the HP off of the reinforce or the extra security shield. So that Deathclaw was not as broken as it should have been. It didn't
not
delete
at
a level
all.
4. It didn't delete the Madoki Betamon.
Yeah.
The Deathclaw has one purpose: delete Madoki, and sometimes we get a free recovery off of the Sala, right? Because
But, I
Sala
mean, he
unfortunately
just,
just has
didn't
jamming.
wanna give his opponent- he just could not give his opponent that much memory.
But we do have triple Koichi, which is a very good card. It's a card that we need for this matchup that he hadn't seen in the prior games.
Yeah.
He actually hadn't seen a single Koichi to
No,
this
not
game, and
yet.
now we're on 3 Koichi.
Yeah.
Which
I think he needs a mat, though. He needs to be able to like stop getting choked, especially now that the watermelon's out.
Yeah, this is the scenario I was talking about. Unfortunately, we did lose the Deathclaw. Deathclaw would have been pretty powerful here. We're not going to use it on the Cutemon, but eventually over the course of 2 turns, we do eventually deal with this Madoki Betamon. This Madoki Betamon is going to swing. We're going to start removing sources, remove both sources. And we have a Tommy on the board. Now, if he just has Korikaku.
There it is. Deathclaw.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice. That's pretty cool. But that Madoki Betamon did what he needed to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even though you have the Deathclaw now to out it, he did strip 2 sources, and he's going to go. He's most definitely going to go Korikaku, swim with Korikaku stun because of the Tommy.
He has to pop the boost first because Kari.
That's fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
I'm kind of down for that. Yeah, like worth. You know, we are saying he has to have it, but that card is run at 4. We have yet to see one. The probability of him having one is super duper high.
Yeah.
Though I don't think he's played any sort of searchers.
Yeah.
So he may just not have it, right? As he's taking a little long, I believe I see it in his hand.
Yeah,
I think
making sure that's the absolute best play.
Yeah. Did we expect anything less from the top tables? Come on, they're going to have the cards that they need. So we're going to freeze a card here. This Korikaku is going to turn sideways, freeze another card, and we've effectively put him at 2 security. We have double Sword Joe that's going to activate next turn, giving us a necessary 5 memory as we move into our maybe one of the final turns. So and it lives because Louis is 5K.
Yeah.
He is a Lobo.
Yeah,
Lobo
exactly.
statted.
Exactly. It is. He's literally just pushing Nobu into a corner where Nobu's basically like, Jackson's basically saying, you have this turn and that's it.
So he plays Boko here. Boko is very, very strong as it just gets us. He has access to everything. My goodness. If he doesn't have a Beowulf in hand, I'm pretty sure he just adds it. So that signifies he definitely has a Beowulf in hand because that card is most definitely one of the most broken cards in the deck. Even with Cutemon on the board, I think we still add it to hand.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I think it's more just like in case it does grind out a little bit for more of a grind game.
Yeah, that card gives you basically recycled level 4s, and we already have the Tamers there doing the work that they need to do. So we're going to effectively deal with this Madoki. We're going to have the Deathclaw to deal with the Boko.
Yeah.
But how do we get the Louis off the board? I think we have to evolve on top of it.
We haven't seen any Bushies, right? The only rookies that we've seen were Cutemon and Sala.
I mean, those guys are pretty good.
Yeah.
Those guys are still going to be good. As if Cherubimon does become a factor in this game, those cards are still just very, very decent. As he could still just go right here into Renomon and into Cherubi.
Yeah.
Right? That is also another play. But that gives the opponent like a bajillion memory. And giving them a bajillion memory is not good.
Oh, my goodness. This is...
So he's looking at his trash. He knows Kari's in there. So he's obviously thinking of a Cherubi play.
Yeah.
That kind of hints that. But, we have the blinding. Man, blinding is so scary, though.
Yeah, because it's like you're investing like everything in these plays.
So we're going to blinding, trash the Kaiser, trigger the Kari. So now we're not going to have Kari for your opponent's turn, just by the way. So he's basically saying you have to choke your opponent to 1.
But it looked like he does have 1 in hand, and I think he does want to, as you said, Cherubi to bring out the other one.
Yeah, I think you have to choke your opponent to 1 and hope he doesn't have Hammer Sparks. He doesn't have a Mimi in play to be able to remove the Hammer Sparks' effectivity, but he does have Kari, which effectively does take him 1 less.
But so the 2 stun guys with no sources is just so painful.
This is really difficult. I mean, we know he has Deathclaw, so he can Deathclaw and then go... Yeah, he can go Deathclaw, but how do we remove Louis?
Yeah,
this is really difficult. Really, really hard, because I know he wants to play the Kari back off of the Cherubi, but...
What does Cherubimon pop?
He's going to pop level 4s. I think it's level 4 lowers, or... Gotcha. I don't think it's play cost of 4 lower. That would be a little... maybe weak.
Yeah.
So... He's taking a big thing. It's tough, man. It's tough. Yeah, Blinding Ray is a play that he needed to make, and it was manly.
Yeah.
Very, very manly play.
Oh, my goodness. This is one of those games where, like, I'm glad I'm commentating and not actually in it.
Yeah, no, this is a toughie. It
really is a rough situation.
And this is game 3. This is for all the marbles. This is semis. Whichever player loses here, I believe, will be going in
the 3rd and 4th. They played out in third. Right?
Yeah, we're gonna play for 3rd. So.
But then the winner of this is guaranteed a Lilith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, this is for
all
literally
the
marbles.
Yeah.
So
one of the most important games of the day. The weekend, really.
Yeah, honestly.
It does not look like any spikes in there.
Yeah, no. The probability of there being sparks and security is super duper high. His opponent having them in hand is, again, super duper high. The fact that Mimi's not in play, very, very bad.
Yeah.
And we just put our, what are we doing here?
Digging for something he has not found yet.
Oh,
Really?
no. Oh, no. Oh! That's the worst card it could have been.
Well,
One of them.
Spark to the bottom.
One of them. And we're going to Cherubi to remove
That's
this. And, yeah, start your turn at 7 memory.
Yeah, 7.
Start your turn at 7. Yeah, go for it, man.
Yeah, that double sword Joe start was
And we're going to swing, and he's
absurd,
just scooping it up. He doesn't even, that Davis. And that is just a
double
blue.
sword Joe in the beginning was absurd.
That is just the blue hybrid security, man. And Jackson, again, proving himself to being just a great pilot for the blue deck.
Oof. Phenomenal game.
This man went to PPG, won the pregame, came over here to Digifest and said, I'm going to win Digifest too,
yeah,
bro.
He's
Like,
coming for
I'm coming for everything. I'm doing everything, guys.
Very well played from both players. There were definitely some unfortunate games, I think, on both ends, and definitely that second game was kind of rough because it definitely appeared as though Noah was trying to dig for pieces and just couldn't see what he wanted to see.
Yeah, no, and again, mirroring Texas once again. Purple losing in semis, going into the losers bracket, and if I remember, are we going to see Purple get dropped in the third, as we saw in Texas?
Yeah. Interesting. That would actually be crazy if it literally like shot for shot mirrors it.
I mean, the only difference is one is Lily, one is Cherubi, but at the end of the day, they're both still in the purple family. You know, one is like a cousin, and the other one is like the full purple. But it's okay. They're together.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a good game, though. That was a good game. And I'm actually kind of jealous because now you get to watch another Cherubi match. So that's it's pretty nice.
You will most definitely be seeing a blue hybrid mirror. No, I'm just kidding. No,
like,
I'm just kidding. I'm hoping for for a great time for our other players. I know that Cherubimon can still make it, still get its Lilith. I hope a purple can get a Lilith in North America.
Absolutely.
That would be very, very cool. Very, very justified. But the blue hybrid mirror, what are you excited? What are you excited to see? We know Jackson's one of them. We're not sure who the other guy is.
What am I excited to see in a blue hybrid matchup?
Supreme Cannon and Security.
Maybe, yeah. If there are some crazy plays, of course, because I know sometimes it's like, honestly, that matchup I feel is honestly just who sees the most important pieces first. I don't know what. I want to see tech. I want to see like some spicy tech that would like maybe something different, because a lot of like blue hybrid decks now are almost like copy and paste and like cookie cutter. So like if there's like something that we can see, like a hot little tech card that maybe like helps whoever it is get to like the top tables. I'm very interested.
No, I think that DigiFest's Texas, their final matchup, the final blue versus blue hybrid, was one of the best games I've seen besides like National Blue and Blue matchup again.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of blue mirror matches, but they're very intense. They're very skill intensive, and although we can all go resident sleeper blue hybrid, you have to think about what the intricacies of the matchup are. And there was so much tech in that same matchup that when the guy had the Hexablow to counter his board, but he just had the other, it could go so many ways. The Supreme Cannon and Security is blue tier 0. No. Right? I would say 0.5. Personally, I think 0.5, as we've just established the fact that it's just blue hybrids, and it just takes up 68%, 2/3. The participation of blue is also super duper high.
Yeah, all weekend. We've seen a lot.
Residency for blue hybrid. God. But yeah, I think 0.5, and I think blue has been tier 0.5 now for 2 formats. In the previous format, I'm getting argued left and right the fact that Gabubon was in tier 0.5, but my God, if you were playing any deck that wasn't Gabubon and they just high rolled you and they just...
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, come on, man.
The combination of that, and that's why like I kind of wanted to see... Well, is it confirmed that the other 2 players are blue hybrid, or are they? Oh,
it's confirmed.
Okay, because
they were doing a blue hybrid. Oh well, I'm not sure if BOF is still in the
because his list was very much blue hybrid, but it ran the mats and it ran I think 3 Gabubon top end. So I wanted to see that today. So I'm actually kind of hoping if that's one of the guys that makes it to the finals, I would love to watch that.
That would be kind of cool, but in my mindset, right, that deck has to high roll to win that matchup because it inherently has so much counter synergy and so much like weird synergy that if the weird synergy it doesn't outpace the inconsistencies
pure
of the
one,
deck,
yeah, absolutely.
then the deck is just going to lose to the pure matchup because they have they cannot play the Midokis in their deck, right?
No,
because
yeah.
they have to play the Gabus in the back, so they have to give up on something.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
your
They have
opponent
to
has
cut
the
things.
Midoki, they have the memory chokers, so your hybrids, your Beowulfs are now being choked in the game 1.
Yeah.
Which makes that matchup
Absolutely.
really, really hard. Although BOF can come out and just go bottom deck 3 dudes,
Yeah.
which is very, very powerful,
Yeah.
you're paying 2 life for it
Yeah,
more often than not. So that matchup is not an easy one so far. Obviously, he made it to top 16. I'm pretty sure he played against some blue on the along the way,
I'd be
right?
very surprised.
So definitely he knows the matchup. It's very, very difficult, but I don't think it is optimal in the mirror match. And that's
No,
why
yeah.
this new age blue with the floodgates in the main, Zulong,
We
and
see
all these
so
other
many
things,
of
that's
them.
why it's just so good because, I mean, the deck can break and lose
Yeah.
just like any other deck, but the probability of it happening is so limited. And the fact that it has access to all these great options
Yeah.
just makes it
It's
good.
insane.